we've said this story everywhere, but we haven't said it here.
No, we haven't said it here.
But you want to speak to how this friendship developed.
Are you friends?
We are, because I can't get away from
friends.
her. I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
I've never been in a friendship where I can't get out.
Yeah.
This is it. She won't let me leave. I was like, I don't like you. She goes, you do. I go, but I don't. You go, you do. And I was like, and then she just showed up at my house. I go, we're not friends. She shows up at my house, knocking on my door. I go, are you crazy? And then she comes in. I can't get out.
We were just talking about, Rachel brought it to my attention, even though I knew about this because it's so embarrassing. Somebody taking your, like somebody is like copying me, like some new comedian is like copying, trying to be me. How do you do it? Like you've had,
I've had this.
When you're a distinct, when you're an original, we are one of ones.
Yeah.
And the thing is people kind of comfort, like what do you think of it?
Here's the thing. Don't bother, because I've almost like pretty much ruined a friendship by saying something somebody was kind of doing me. It was like, I kind of know when she was on stage, and then I had a bunch of people DM me being like, literally go, why is this person doing your act on stage? It's got all your mannerisms. And I was watching it because I'm like, oh God, that is a little too similar. So I mentioned something and it was bad. Here's the thing. You know it's you, your fans know it's you. That's it. Yeah. I guess what's that term? Flattery is the most.
Yeah, because as you get bigger and you're the most famous sitting here, you must deal with it. We deal with it more. It's actually like a sign of growth. Like if you're really good at what you do, people will copy you.
Yes. What is it? Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah. Except it's stealing, like, and I don't think it's flattery. I think it's embarrassing.
You can be arrested for stealing.
For shame. For shame. That's what I say. That's what
I literally was talking to somebody in the store last night saying I was doing your podcast, and they're like, you know what? That's the only podcast I listen to because Robbie's so unhinged. And I was like,
really?
Yeah.
Well, I've experienced.
Dan Donahue was nice though. He's being very nice. He said you were singing my praises.
Well, we both
adore
the gym
you. Thing?
Yeah, no, Dan Donahue is
with?
one of the. He's the one who trains me at the gym. Yes,
Yeah.
Dan has been personally training me.
He's good. Yeah,
I had a huge workout yesterday. I mean, I am weak as can
Robbie.
be. Yeah.
I'm over here. I got shorts up to my fucking tits.
What's Kybella?
It was what I got done to my chin before, my double chin. So I had a big double chin. So I'm very it's also very hard being a woman in comedy because also watching myself all the time.
Yeah.
It's so hard to look.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting. I hate it.
I
Editing my own
agree.
clips, I fucking hate it.
I agree.
So I had a big double chin. I gained a bunch of weight and I was losing weight and I couldn't get rid of it. And I was like, I hate this. Every photo was
Did
me.
you do chin exercises?
I was doing the thing. I was doing like,
What was the thing?
Whatever.
Could you tell me the thing? Because it was like.
I bought this fucking thing off online. It was like from China where you put this thing on your head. It's just like sweat your, and I'd walk around. I couldn't fucking move my head. I was like sweating my chin. I was so stupid. So it came to like, it's what it is. It's called Kybella. It's injections that go into your fat cells and eats it away. So
should I do it on my stomach?
Fuck you. It's like an acid that you put and it eats away
No,
fat cells.
I literally, because I have dysphoria, I'm thinking of getting truly masculinization surgery so I don't have hips anymore.
You don't have hips right now.
No. I'm telling you right now. I have child rearing hips.
You're
I have
child rearing?
Yes,
Child
yes,
rearing.
I do. Yeah, I do. My mother had 10 kids.
I think
It's
you
not for
could
no
carry
reason.
a kid to 3 months and then that's it. I don't think
Anyway,
you're gonna
what did you
carry a
do?
full
You did it
kid.
more-
I did it.
you
I'm
did
sitting
also-
here swollen up right now. So
it just happened.
I did it on Monday. So it worked
Do you
on my
need
chin.
a doctor to do it or it's like a cosmetic thing?
It's a cosmetic thing. So I got it all on my stomach because I'm very self-conscious
Does
of my
it
stomach.
work?
Do you see a double chin?
No, it's
There's no double chin.
unreal.
It's gone.
But why do people
It's
not
gone.
do that instead of liposuction that
Because
killed
it's very
Kanye West's
expensive.
mom?
It's $500
And because
every
it
vial.
kills you.
So how many
Everything
vials do
kills
you have to
We're
do?
all dying. We're
Right,
all
right.
fucking
Yeah,
dying.
yeah.
That's why I'm like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna have a flat stomach. I don't give a shit anymore.
P. Diddy is about to commit suicide, okay? We have the Diddy watch. I think he's going to commit.
Where's the Diddy watch?
No. I'm telling you.
An
Keep
update?
it. It's on the record here first. We better rush to put this podcast out so people understand that I know that Diddy is about to commit suicide. He's
Okay.
implicated too many big people.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not
Didn't
a
know this was a
conspiracist.
pop culture podcast. here. I
Yeah,
had
listen,
no idea.
it's not
We dabble
anything.
in
We wanted to
everything.
talk about because the super annoying girl is copying me, but the problem is she's also very sweet to me and she's a huge fan of me.
Yeah.
Is she doing well?
No.
Then
She's like in an alt.
Also, here's the thing: if you're gonna copy somebody, there's only so long you could not be yourself.
Yeah.
It's only so long you can
Yeah.
keep up this fucking
Well,
act.
because did that. And she was rising above me, and I saw her. No,
Was she
this
rising
one
above you?
Yeah, I had like 7,000. This is a few years ago, and she had like 10,000. You know when you're in those trenches.
Yeah.
It's.
When did you get
drives-
huge?
First of all, both of you need to relax with the huge and the famous comments.
So
no,
let
I'm
me
looking
continue.
at your Instagram, 200 something, whatever.
It's not enough for her.
Huh?
It's. I'll tell you, I've been constantly posting since COVID.
So that really helped.
Oh, I if you saw my posting schedule, you would think I'm mentally ill. I have it written out for the next 3 weeks. What
kidding.
time I
and
post?
you do it yourself?
I do it on myself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, what time I post, when I'm collabing with somebody, what I have an order of, like, when I do stand up, then I do sketch, then I do a podcast. I have I'm like crazy. I set
How did
alarms.
you figure it out?
It's consistency. I literally started doing, and then because the Friends Who Kill Bill Burr thing, that got me really going. So
Yeah.
that got me, I think, 50K followers. That was like, I clocked it all. I was like, did this, and then I had one viral clip where I called it a heckler, and that got me like 80K. That was like a big fucking jump, and that was like the
Whoa.
only one that really did that.
Yeah.
And then everything else has just been like a steady kind of, very steady, slow but steady.
Yeah.
I think the people who copy, I don't know anyone who's copied long term and been the big name. Like, there must be a million people who copy Jerry Seinfeld or, any act
Yeah.
that is massive. We
Yeah.
don't know the copies.
No one
You
knows
never
the copies.
do know the copy.
Whoever
Right.
this person
You
is,
never,
I don't even know. I
you
guarantee I don't know who
never
it is.
know the copy.
Totally.
Okay, and then you live a life of misery and shame.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Is that
Okay.
settled now?
It's settled, but you know what? The
It's
first
annoying.
person I realized who had that was Tolev.
Because there was a couple.
That's
There was
why
a couple in
actually
Toronto.
the fact that
and then,
you
yeah.
brought that up
Yeah.
was interesting because Tolev is the first person I saw on the rise who had that issue.
Yeah.
And it used to fucking eat you up until you
It
got
did.
more secure in your own career.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
would you define your style?
I'm unhinged. There's unhinged and then there's Tolev. That's what I think. No,
You're more unhinged than me.
No.
Are you crazy? Have
No,
you
you're
seen you on
unwell.
stage?
You're
I'm
literally
unwell.
you've turned you have copyrighted unwell because that's how unwell you
Okay,
are.
actually, you know what? This is actually a perfect time to show this. I may be a little unhinged. I had a really bad set last night in the main room because I got so pissed off. There's a guy in the front row who I watched through Bobby Lee's entire set who wouldn't get off his phone. So I took a bunch
Does
of photos
the
of him.
store do nothing
So I took
about
literally
yeah.
his head
Let's
was
dox him right
no,
here.
we're
Put it on
doxing him.
camera.
I already doxed him.
Let's dox.
So-
we are pro-doxing
Literally,
here.
I walk on stage. I go, "Is everyone enjoying themselves?" And they're kind of clapping. I go, "Not everybody."
We back
And then
the blue on this pod and we dox.
I go, "Somebody here is not enjoying themselves." And then I just show the phone around
me
everybody.
see
And
him.
then I was like, I was so pissed. His head was literally, and I go, "What are you doing?" "Work emails," he says. And then he goes right back on his phone. I'm like, the crowd's
Did you
like,
find
"Why
out
doesn't-"
what he did?
He said he worked on a production. He can't talk about it because it's an NDA. And I was like, what is this? And then I got so mad that his friend was there with a service dog. So I'm
You
like,
know
well, now
what
I
he
can make
was
fun of this guy. There's
checking?
a service dog here. It was a whole thing.
He was checking the size of the tumors that he just got pictures of from his doctor from the scan. They're growing. He's
At
got 3
midnight on
months
a
old.
Saturday.
That's what he was
On a
doing.
holiday weekend. That's when you're getting the cancer
That's the only
updates.
time you can't think of anything.
God.
You don't care who's talking. You're looking at the size
You're
of
on
that
this
tumor.
guy's
You
side.
think the whole show you're looking at one scan?
If you get a scan in
Yeah.
and it's during a show, could you think of anything else?
No, you know what? I got served this TikTok to go to Turkey for medical tourism.
You can't go to
Okay.
Turkey.
Why?
Jews can't go to Turkey. Wake
I
up.
have an aunt in Turkey.
There you go.
When you're Middle Eastern, you can go.
She's
a little-
Israeli and she says she's
I'm
Middle
not
Eastern.
Israeli,
It's the weirdest
I'm
thing. Her father is
Moroccan. He lived in Israel after.
immigrated to Israel as
Yes.
a baby and became Israeli.
Not a baby.
Became Israeli.
He became Israeli out of
He is
necessity,
Israeli!
but not.
What are we talking
Not
about?
ethnically. I'm not.
Back the blue.
I'm
Her
Middle
father
Eastern
is
Moroccan.
Israeli. Back the blue. Her
What's
father.
back the blue?
The police.
Oh.
We got a
no,
car
thank you.
outside
No,
right
thank
now.
How are
you.
you guys friends? I don't understand.
not
This
friends.
is
We're
bizarre.
friends.
We're not friends.
Okay, you're not
We're
friends.
colleagues.
Do you think we should be?
I can't tell. Probably not. By the way, this is
Now,
going.
this is also a good conversation for us because Steph is one of those people who could speak to a lot of this stuff very naturally. She could be a mentor
To me.
of kinds to
I
both
could
of
be
us.
a mentor.
No, she really could.
Oh, a friend
because,
mentor?
Well, what do you think about? So we've gone through our own ebbs and flows.
Yes, we have.
Of the friendship.
Yes,
How
we
would
have.
I
you?
wanna hear about-
any tips for like?
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's it.
because you
Never
didn't
lets
want to
you
be
go.
my friend, not for a good reason.
I was annoyed.
It wasn't personality.
It wasn't
Oh, it was. I
shockingly,
moved
it wasn't
out.
personality.
So you took me in after the depths of my big breakup. You took me in, no problem.
Yes, I
We
did.
moved together. 1st of all, I lived with
You're
you when I
always
first
being
moved to
taken
LA.
in.
She took me in.
My dog nursed you back to health.
But
She
the dog
snuggled with
nursed
you in
me
bed.
back to health. I slept back in my old room. It was excellent. You let me pay what I want. I think it was like $800. And then you went to do ayahuasca or something. You went to Joshua Tree to do mushrooms.
Just for 2 days to relax. No ayahuasca.
Okay, there was no ayahuasca.
Yeah,
but
don't add that in like
I
I'm
hear
some
Joshua Tree.
druggy.
I think,
No.
okay, I think somebody needs an intervention. I don't know what's going on in Joshua Tree. I've only heard. So anyway. So
You would,
fine,
hate,
we went.
you would hate Joshua
Lovely.
Tree.
I've gone. It's too hot and there's nothing to look at. I like a view.
You're looking at the trees. You're looking at the
There's no
mountains.
trees.
There's
The Joshua
mountains.
Tree.
There's tree. It's famous for the trees.
Yeah,
in
that's-
No,
fact.
that's
it's
to
called
me.
Joshua Tree.
That's a horror movie tree. That's
I
not
don't know
a
if you've
tree.
been to Joshua Tree at all.
If
I feel
you
like
have
you've just been in
been
a shed in the desert. I don't know where you
to
think
the
you've been.
northeast, you'll know what a tree looks like. Okay, I don't
Okay.
even
There are
consider
different
palm
types of
trees. I don't even
trees.
consider palm trees.
What
trees.
about this tree behind you?
Where?
You can turn all the way
Yeah,
around.
all the way around.
No,
She was
that's
like,
a
"Where is-"
plant. That's a different thing.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway.
All right.
So I
So
go away for 2 days.
I decide
Sure.
I
One
had to
night?
jump
2
on.
nights. Okay.
I found a great apartment that I could actually that I was just going to jump on. So I took it and I left
Without telling her.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Let's
because I
rephrase
didn't
this.
want to ruin her trip. I heard
no,
that
no,
if you're
fuck
on such a trip.
you. Oh, you're Mrs. Nice all of a sudden.
No,
I get
I
a
didn't
text
wanna
from my
ruin her.
buddy
It
who's
was
sitting on
like-
the couch going, Robbie left. I go, left where? Packed up her stuff and left. I go, excuse me? It was like the first in 2 days. I'm like, I would have gotten to the room. At this time, I wasn't doing very well, so I needed a roommate. It was helping.
Yeah.
And I was like, excuse me? She goes, yeah, I found a place. I go, that's it. I hate this kind of attitude. I'm a big planner too. I like ahead of time thing.
I can hear it,
Nothing.
yeah.
It was so rude. Up and go. No,
Yeah.
no hello. No text.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're done with this.
I thought
So
she
I'm-
was on such a high philosophical
Oh,
trip.
shut
Why should I
up.
ruin it? You can't talk to in a trip. It's very bad. Like if somebody is seizing, you can't
I've
wake them up.
never-
You got to be so careful. You got to be so careful because actually it could
you're,
hurt them.
you're comparing my non-ayahuasca
She
trip
that's
to
does.
what
a
I
You,
thought
season.
it was.
you have assumptions. Like for my birthday, not to bring that back
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
But she assumed that I was having a party and wasn't inviting her and didn't want her there. So she didn't wish me a happy birthday.
Because I
Because-
didn't want her to have pressure. Oh, I'm
you
having
see,
an
it's
event.
this-
You can
It's
come.
this again. It's
Yeah.
all for her.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's all.
It's not poor. It's. I'm trying to listen. I can be hurt and sit with that hurt. I would have wanted to be invited, but I'm like, you know what? It's not up to you, Rob. So I don't want to put pressure on that. I'm comfortable dealing with bad feelings when I need to deal with them because they happen. There's nothing I can do about them. So
Okay.
that's what happened here. I thought you were having a trip. When I hear Joshua Tree, I think, okay, Steph's
I
going to
literally
do
said
her
I was
thing.
going out with like 2 friends.
I don't
we were
want to
hanging
judge.
out.
People do
I'll
this.
tell you
People
what,
do that.
I'd probably get some nice wine and charcuterie board. I would probably be a little
People do
buzzed.
this.
Yeah.
People do that. We've heard
Okay.
about it.
All right.
Oh,
So
okay.
how did it? So she
then-
left
So-
you high and
I
dry,
got
no
pissed.
rent.
Yeah, nothing. No
But
rent.
I
No
then
nothing.
offered I could give you rent for
I
the
go,
month.
I don't want it. I was pissed.
She doesn't want it.
I don't want it. I'm annoyed. I'm done.
I said,
And I
of
don't
course
like
I was
that kind
gonna
of.
tell
And we
you
also
when
we
you
had
came
an
back.
issue before. We had we lived together. We had some
I
lot
want
of
to
ups and
hear
downs.
about the living
lived
together.
together.
Well, this is the story I like to
Loudest
tell
house
every time.
in America.
I was babysitting at the time. Horrendous job. The girl was so bad. I had no car. I had to bike out.
She was abused by there was a 3-year-old who was slapping and kicking and
It
hitting
was
her
crazy.
every
So
single
I
day.
had to bike like 3 miles there and back every morning. It was hell on earth.
She
I'd
was
come
also
home.
Lots of
biking.
hills.
Not a lot of hills, but just like in this
Canada
fucking
or
heat.
LA?
Here, LA, here.
Okay.
So we moved here. She moved in with me, and I had this
Toronto.
job. Then sometimes I had catering at night, and I'd have I had time to have a nap in the day.
Yeah.
Like a 2-hour nap because I'd be
Yeah.
there super early. I had to be there at like 7 a.m. 2-hour nap. And then Robbie would come, every time she'd come in the door, she's like, hello. And I'm like, okay, Rob, I'm napping.
Yeah.
She goes, when I come to a house, I say hello. I go, well, maybe you have to stop doing that because I am in fact sleeping. I can't do that. So we got in like the biggest fight because she could
When I
not
come
say
into
hello.
the door,
You know how
I go
psychotic
up-
this is? How am I friends with her? I don't even know if I'm friends with you, to be
You
honest
must
now.
know who else is in the house. It is I don't need you waking up and then suddenly there's somebody else in the house. We
Who's
like
in
to
the
know who's in the
house?
house.
I was single
writing
in
on
a
kid's
blob. I had a
job.
double chin. Nobody was in the house.
No, I was in the house. I was letting you know I'm in the house. It's a consideration
She's trying
that
to
you should
protect
wake
you
up.
from being scared.
Hey, I'm home. Go do back what you're doing. Go
Back to my
sleep.
nap? It's
Yeah.
hard to sleep in Los Angeles. It's
well,
What about
loud.
a text? So when she wakes up, she can see
I don't
I'm
know.
home.
The texting didn't feel like you couldn't get a response if somebody was there.
You
I like
so
to
you
come
wanted
in.
her to respond as well. It's
Yeah,
not
we
enough
both-
to
Oh,
So
I'd
say
have to
we're here.
respond.
Yeah.
She'd keep yelling hello until I said something.
Well, yeah, we're both here.
Picture waking
And
up
then you
out of
do
a
it-
nap having this woman screaming hello like
No,
a psychopath
horrible.
I'm
every
like,
day.
is anyone
Bad way to
home?
wake up.
It's like
I
a
need to
night
know.
terror.
It is.
because of the way she moves.
I do need
Yes.
to know because I need
Slender
to come
man
in.
roaming around the fucking
I
house.
need to know who's in the house.
Me with the door closed, fucking sleeping.
Yeah, the door closed. It's so.
With the door open,
It's so
the hello would
unwelcoming.
be even louder.
It's so unwelcoming.
Unwelcoming
with the
into
door
her
closed.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it must
Okay.
be nice. You grew up
Okay.
with doors
This is-
closing. Must be nice.
Yeah, it was nice actually.
I had doors closing. For the
Yeah, I
record
was like,
growing
what are
up
you
as well.
talking about? You had doors closing in your fucking house.
As I regress into hyping up my poverty, like you'll find out
Yeah.
that I live like under the house. Like I'm not even in the house. So anyway, so then
Anyways.
you decided you didn't want a friendship.
No,
People are like, once you're on
I'm high and
Steph's
dry.
bad list,
Yeah.
you're done. I
Yeah.
said, not me. No, I don't give up on a person. I don't, unless there's a good reason. Me moving out without notice is not a good reason.
For you,
Or for you, as it's proved. As it's proved. So I said, nah, I know Steph, she'll get over this because she just has to. We're gonna
that's
be
it.
friends.
That's the A. The A was that she has to. There's no.
I
B.
moved
then
out
I-
of a room once without telling anyone, but it was in college. And I was, 18. This girl was getting up at 5 a.m. to dry her hair every day. We're sharing a room.
Sharing a room.
You can't be doing
no,
that.
no, that's crazy.
So I called the campus. I said, you know what? If I don't get a room, I'm going to leave. I need a single room. And they accommodated me.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
she went to Wesleyan.
Well,
she was
5
in
a.m.
the dorms. Yeah, it's a nice living.
I went
It's
to
a
you
nice
went to
living.
McGill. You were in the dorms.
No, I wasn't.
Where were you in McGill?
I lived in Verdun,
What
which
is
was
that?
not anywhere near the dorms. I lived like literally, and now it's supposed to be a very nice area. Who started Verdun?
Okay, now
Actually,
we're
my
taking
sister
credit
Chaya
for
started
Verdun.
Verdun.
Oh my
Verdun.
God.
My sister Chaya, 10 years before me, we were the only Jews ever in Verdun, and now it's
Okay.
condos.
That's proven. The only two Jews
yeah, I
ever
think that
Verdun.
is proven. That must be proven. It was a completely French area, and they hated us there.
This podcast is all facts.
So
Diddy's gonna
it is.
die.
This is fact.
You started
and I
Verdun.
lived. Yeah, I lived
Okay.
I lived on the metro line.
Okay.
And I had to walk there, and yeah, I never lived
Mm-hmm.
on. That's why I always feel like I never had the school experience because I just wasn't with.
Why didn't you
kids.
live in the dorm?
Because dorms are $20K a year. Wake up.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, of course you don't know because my parents paid for the
No,
dorm.
my parents didn't
I
pay
have
for
to
the
think of
dorm. I got a
anything.
scholarship, and I
didn't
still
have
have
to think
loans.
of anything.
So there you go, Rob.
A
Those
dorm is
loans.
the most expensive place to live in any city.
We didn't have a choice. We had to live in the dorms.
Of course, when you go to Princeton, you go to Wesleyan, you go to Duke,
about?
you have to live in the dorms. Steph didn't go to university.
I went to college. Excuse
Humber.
me.
Humber.
Wow.
Humber.
Yeah, I went to clown school and I lived not in the
You went to
dorms also.
clown school?
Pretty much, yeah. Humber College is a comedy writing performance program. 2 years. I lived with 8 guys in an apartment across the street from the school. Yeah.
Wow.
And, But
Yeah,
we lived
yeah.
well together. This is what we
We
forget.
everything else minus the yelling was well because we both were very punctual. We're both very clean.
yeah.
I'm very
Yeah,
clean. Very
yeah.
anal
Yeah, we're
about
both
my
very
home.
neat.
Yeah.
Very neat. Everything's washed. I can't leave the house if
But-
like a dirty dish in the sink. Everything is clean all the time.
Yeah, and I have introduced some niceties into your life.
You did. You got me the stool for the nook in the bathroom. Still use it.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time I
Wait, what
sit
do
my
you mean?
bare
Vanity
ass
stool
on
for
that,
the
I think
nook.
of
There's a
Robbie
vanity
Hoffman.
in the bathroom there. It's one of
Yeah.
these old LA apartments.
Yeah.
And just having a nice stool there to really utilize
Not a
the
Sat in it
vanity.
squatty
today.
potty.
No. It's like sitting.
Stool.
Because I have like a little
For a
vanity area.
You
so
know
I
what a
sit doing
vanity
makeup.
is?
Of course, the mirror and stuff.
Yeah, so that's what she has. And she
Okay.
likes to do her makeup. Steph is actually, for all of her aggression and everything, she's a very sweet, girly girl in many
I am.
ways.
I am.
Yeah, very
Oh,
kind,
you love this. So
sensitive.
I'm walking Susan yesterday in my
Your dog's
neighborhood.
name is Susan?
Yes, it's hilarious.
Oh, that's funny. But you chose it.
Yeah, because she looks. If you ever play the game Guess Who, it's very
Yeah, yeah,
specific.
yeah.
She looks like Susan from Guess Who, same white hair. It's very cute. I'm walking around the neighborhood, and this guy stops me. He's like, "You're a comic, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, I know you think you look like a lesbian." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "But I think you're pretty hot." And then he walked away, and I was like, "What is going on right now?" It was like the most backhanded
Yeah.
compliment. I'm like, "I know you think you look." I'm like, "I do look like a lesbian."
Yeah, because
I
you
don't think.
cry.
I
you
know what I look
cry
like.
more
I-
than any. Like you are so sensitive. Like
Oh, I would cry this morning. Me and Jefferson got in a fight. I cried this morning.
no.
Yes.
What was the
Jefferson?
My
fight?
boyfriend.
You
What
live
was the
together?
fight about? And
yes,
by the way,
Cute.
what was the fight about? And we can cut anything you don't
No,
want.
no, no. We talk about
We
it. I have a jealousy problem. I'm crazy, and I have to stop. So last night he's out. I call him like 1. He goes, okay, the bar is closing up. I'll call you because he's out in Myrtle Beach doing a show. He's like, I'll call you when I get back to where I'm staying. 4 hours go by. I'm like, okay, that's a long time. So I call I FaceTime on my way home from the store. It's like 1:30 here. So it's like 4:30 a.m. Myrtle Beach time. I'm like, everything's closed. I'm like, hello, what's going on? He's like, I was out drinking till 5. I'm like, out drinking? I'm like, where? Immediately I go to, of course, there's women around, and I go crazy. I'm psycho. And then he's like, okay, I'll call you. I'm just going to go home and eat a sub, and I'll call you.
What is he, Jussie Smollett?
Also, how long do you think it takes to eat a sub?
I take a
eat
while.
in 4 minutes.
Maybe 45 minutes.
He took 45 minutes, and that's crazy.
I have a swallowing issue.
Then don't eat subs.
No, I don't eat them often.
What the hell, swallowing issue?
This is the first time I've laughed on the pod, and it's because of you.
45 minutes to eat a
true.
sub is fucking crazy. I'm eating a sub in 4 to 6 minutes.
Four to say, yeah, we're fast eaters.
Okay.
I got stuff to
It's
do.
also
I
how we
hang
got
around
along.
sucking back a sub all day. So I
Remember my
passed out.
steak
I get
free?
annoyed.
I would make steak free.
I need a steak freeze. I miss that.
I'll make a steak free. I started making my own French fries. Anyway,
Did you?
It's
Oh,
unreal.
with this.
It's unreal.
Okay. Anyways, so
We
I
did it
get
on
pissed.
the
He doesn't
Patreon.
call
Check out my
me.
steak free. Okay, go on.
I get pissed. He doesn't call me. And then this morning he wakes up and he's all hungover. He's like, oh, I almost missed my flight. I'm like, I'm annoyed now. I'm
He
like,
missed his
'Kay.
flight?
Almost. He's like, I'm at the airport. I'm delusional. I'm like, okay. I'm like annoyed now. He's now I have no pity for you. You're out drinking till 5 in the morning. I'm supposed to be like, oh no. And I'm like, I'm annoyed you didn't call
Yeah.
me. So I'm pissed. So he calls me. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. I'm like, I'm annoyed. You said you're gonna call me. You didn't call me. He's like, I was hanging out. I have to call you every 5 seconds. I'm like, just say good night. I love a good night. I need a good night. If you had just said, hey, I'm still
1000%.
talking. I'm eating my sub
Need
for
a good
4
night,
hours.
need a hello.
I need to go to see. Maybe we. This is
Do
why
you have
now
that
we see
as
it.
well? Rachel is unlocking some things here.
Wow, maybe she is. So I
need
got
a good
annoyed.
night.
He didn't, there's no good night, and then I passed out angry, and then I woke up and I was just annoyed. I'm like, I need to know you're home safe and a good night. That's all. I'm not asking for much. And then he's acting like you're being fucking FBI grilling me. I'm like, FBI grilling you? I go, you could have simply been like, hey babe, sorry, I'm still up talking. Good night, I love you. And
By
I
the
would be
way,
like,
if
okay,
I
good
were
night,
him,
and roll over.
If I were him, I would shape up or ship out.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm very sensitive, and he knows this.
He knows this, and
I
you're
need it.
allowed in a relationship to ask for your needs and have expectations, and not to be made to feel like you're crazy.
That's exactly what I was
Asking
wondering.
for a
Yes.
check-in when people are away is totally sound and normal. If he's defensive about this, then there's something he's got to work on. You have to work on nothing in this particular instance.
Thank
Loving
you.
this,
If I were
Robbie.
Jefferson,
Thank
what?
you.
I said I'm loving to hear this.
I
So
love this.
interesting.
No, you know what? Because I do remember when I wouldn't check in with somebody who required a check in, but she was on top of me. But really, I wasn't I wasn't ready to be in that level of a commitment relationship. Now, if he wants to be a boy, he can be a boy. But if he wants to be a man and he wants to date a woman and be a grown up, in this country, I was just talking about this. We have this obsession or this fetish for the infantilized man-child. Okay, that's why we love, the Theo Vons and what these people are looking like, and they're little boys who are grown men, and it's the reason they talk about aliens and dinosaurs and anything that should be done past the
saw
age of
this
7.
clip.
No, because it goes further. I also blame AI. And I want to bring this in.
Oh, that's new. Okay, that's fun.
And we'll tie it all the way back to
Okay.
Jefferson.
Can't
But I want to
wait.
bring AI into this because I really was talking to Gabby the other day about this inertia that we're seeing with AI. And why is it? Why is it? Wake up. Because boys are feeling threatened. What are boys feeling threatened by? Girls. As usual, girls and women, we're finally seeing our power. We're finally rising. Okay, and they decided to invest in AI because they would rather be dominated in their self-destruction by AI than a woman. They would rather a toy take
But
them
why
out.
is Alexa and Siri a woman then?
Because it's a fake woman. It's a woman they can control. It's a
I
woman they
see.
made. It's a woman they created. It's a woman who isn't a real thing who's autonomously thinking for
Yeah,
herself.
yeah.
It's thinking everything they made it to think.
Yeah.
That's what they love. So they have invested in AI. They know it's our own demise. And they've done that on purpose because they would rather AI take them out than women. And the coincide the coinciding rise of feminine power with AI is no accident to me.
Oh.
And so I asked
Bring it back.
Jefferson, does he want to be a boy and play with toys? With like AI, whatever, or does he want a real woman who's a real partner and whatever? He better shape up or ship out. Drinking till 5 a.m. and forgetting to call your girl is embarrassing. It's emasculating. It's emasculating. You know what's masculine? A guy going, excuse me, I gotta call my wife and say goodnight. I'll be back in a few.
That thank you.
is masculine.
It's also
How
so
hot
easy.
is that?
It's very hot. It's also, it shows you like respect me and my one thing. My one thing. I have a lot of things, but it's one thing I really enjoy. I like a good night, and it's also
Whenever a man
2 seconds.
does, yeah, it's 2 seconds.
It's not a chunk of time. Oh, you think I want to hang out and talk? It's 2 a.m. for me. I'm going to bed.
Right.
I want to check in. I want a good night. That's it. That's all I ask for.
That's it.
Simple stuff.
So he's a comic too?
No, he's a musician.
Oh.
Actor, musician, yes.
Wow.
But very similar.
We're very similar. We have a very similar sense of humor.
I'm
and
saying
I've never,
like he can
and I love
understand
him, like,
the
so
lifestyle.
much.
Yeah.
A similar lifestyle.
Yes, lifestyle.
That's
yes.
nice.
But I don't think after meeting him and falling in love with him, I don't think I've ever loved anyone before. I'm realizing this is my first love
It's like
after all these
Robbie,
years.
what
Yeah.
she says.
I agree with this, but I do think Jefferson, and I'm really, you're shaping up or shipping out.
He's not shipping anywhere.
Oh, you're shaping up or he's shipping himself. By the way, it won't be because of you. But if he's drinking till 5 a.m, let this be a wake-up call on this podcast. We're talking about this. Let this be the wake-up call that you need.
I mean, he doesn't do that all the time. He would just add the show.
Not even once. You get that mistake once.
Yeah,
It's
now
like I was telling my friends who are fighting and they're in a couple and all this stuff, and they were kind of talking. One of them is having tantrums all the time and crying and this, and I said, most women after 2 of these tantrums, they're gone. If you're having a tantrum a week,
no, that's too much.
You got to go to the
Yeah,
hospital.
that's too much. He's
so
like,
how did you resolve?
we resolved it. He said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings." Well, he didn't say sorry. Was the exact wording actually?
no.
Yeah. Now I got to check because I'm
Hey,
gonna be annoyed.
Jefferson.
He said, "I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I was having a nice
How
time
do we
chatting."
feel
on the show."
about that? I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm sorry if I hurt
There was
your
no sorry.
feelings.
No, sorry.
No,
I
sorry.
I
in
want a
this.
sorry.
But I'm watching Love
But he
Island
wants to
right
be-
now.
yeah.
And it's just the language of like, it's like, you know what I mean? Where people are like, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, or like, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. It's like, I guess you can say that, but why not just say sorry?
Don't you agree that saying so? I like to be more masculine, and I like to operate more manly. Many cases. Many cases, I like to be more emotional and tap into that. Whatever we're putting boxes. Okay. When I've hurt your feelings, do I just say I'm really sorry? I feel terrible. If I'm saying sorry, I say I feel really bad. I hurt you.
When we get to the apology, yes, you do just say sorry.
But how masculine is
get-
that? How much more masculine is it to be embarrassed, be ashamed, be sorry? Like this guy, you've talked to me before that he likes being masculine. He likes being the guy. You're the girl. I know this about you and how feminine you are and how masculine.
I think it's more
And
masculine
he's
to
not
hit
operating. It would be so much more manly for him to operate like a man than emasculating himself and saying, I didn't mean to hurt you, being a boy.
I think he's very. What's the term when you're never wrong? What is that term?
Defiant.
Yeah, I think he's very
like-
defiant, and it's
Stubborn?
like stubborn. He's very stubborn.
yeah.
We both are, but when it comes, and I will admit when I'm like I can be like, I fucked that up, and I can admit that. But he's very like, so
Well,
I
he
think it's
has to
hard for
start.
him to be like, realize that he wasn't the wrong here. He's still like, you're the one being crazy. I'm like, no. You are making me feel crazy, and I'm not crazy right now. I'm not asking for a
No,
lot. I'm also
no.
like, I'm a very good girlfriend. Very good girlfriend.
Oh.
I am.
No. Oh,
I'm
That's
unreal.
why I'm saying you would shape up. When you get Steph's love, you're gonna get all of it.
oh,
but
do you
you
understand?
take it for granted, and it will be gone.
We live in East Hollywood.
It
We have 2
will-
cars. Do you know who moves the cars? I have an alarm set every Wednesday and Friday. I move our cars around. I fucking
move
cook.
2
I clean.
cars?
I move 2 cars. I cook. I clean. I fucking suck his dick all the fucking time. I give more
What is
blowjobs
he
as a man.
doing?
It's insane.
What
That's what I'm
is
saying.
he doing?
I'm a very good girlfriend.
Do you like to give a blowjob?
I do. I like his dick a lot.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
very nice penis. Before I didn't really like it that much, but his dick is so nice that I like really enjoy it.
Huh.
But I'm like-
Jefferson, what are you doing? It begs the question. You're not moving the cars. You're not cooking. You're not cleaning. You're not sucking her dick.
He does vacuum.
He vacuums.
How often is he vacuuming?
He's vacuuming quite a bit. Well, he doesn't like the dog hair. That's why.
What does he do? This is what women, and I love that you're in love. And this is what most women in a heterosexual,
I'll tell you what he does. I'll tell you the one
thing
thing he does the most that he is beyond supportive of me. Like beyond. Like he comes to all my shows. He's at the back setting my camera up. He's laughing the loudest. He's like, I hear him talking about me to other people after the shows. He like bigs me. He's my number one fan. And that to me is like above.
Very good.
That's above anything.
Okay, that's
yes.
1-1. But Jefferson, it is time. Do you mind revealing his age?
He's 37. He's 2 years younger than me.
Let's be a man.
I think 37 is the new 24.
No. It's a man.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's not the new 24. This is what I'm saying. It's the new 37.
Got it.
I don't know.
Sorry about that.
I think it's also I'm 39 and I'm at that age where I'm full adult now. I'm like, there's no screwing around.
And you've been
anymore.
an adult. Like, here's the thing with you when we ask about your schedule, like people don't realize. Like you are so responsible. I think why we really got along and work, we're both extremely responsible. I never had to be like, it wasn't the roommate situation where I was like, we don't have toilet paper. If I saw it slow, I picked it up. If you saw it slow, you picked it up. That
nice.
is not what we're getting in here. We both have a respect for each other as grown-ups, as both working hard.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever in my whole life not had toilet paper. Maybe with guys in college. What are you doing?
If
It
I'm
hurts
there
everyone.
4 rolls, we're picking up more.
I have a whole thing above my pantry right now. I've got 100 rolls up there. I'm ready to wipe my ass at any time. I can wipe my ass. I wiped my ass. I was almost late. Actually, I was late because I had to wipe my ass a lot, and bidet wasn't cleaning it all up properly.
The bidet, we've
I was
talked about this.
I was really scrubbing. But it's crazy if you're an adult, if you're in your 30s and you go, no toilet paper, get your life together. Something's wrong. You don't have an extra roll. You got that low, and you didn't think to.
Yeah.
No, but that
I'm
is
not
how
gonna target
people
how
are
much
living
paper,
their
5
lives.
minutes.
I mean, if you saw how Rachel lived, you would be. She lives like a
Well,
wild animal.
I have
Vildachaya.
roommates.
No, it doesn't. Her own room.
How
I
old
have
are you?
nowhere to put my stuff, first
She's like
of all.
30.
Second,
you
I'm
go.
not 30.
She's like 32,
Okay.
and she lives like an animal. 33.
I don't live like an animal. You saw my apartment in Brooklyn. That's my space. That was nice.
By the way,
Yeah.
it was fine. The space is beautiful. Was it? It was unkempt.
No, it wasn't.
Our version of if you went there,
You have
it's unkempt.
minimal stuff. I have a little
I don't
bit
have
more.
minimal stuff.
I think you
I
have
have
minimal
weird
stuff.
Weird
have
stuff.
You live minimally.
We know I live decoratively to a point, and not necessarily minimally.
What
I'm
was
neat.
your issue with my apartment?
Clothes everywhere.
Where was there clothes?
Everywhere.
Not in my Brooklyn apartment.
Okay, I don't know. You know what? I'm so distracted by the fact that I came in from the rain and my feet were freezing and you wouldn't give me a pair of socks.
I did give you socks.
You gave her socks?
Yes, I did.
It took. I had to beg. My feet
She
were
didn't
like
have to
white
beg.
from freezing,
No,
from the
Robbie,
freezing rain.
No.
What time of year is this?
This was like
Why don't you be a
literally
man and
November
get
of
some
freezing.
umbrella or something?
I had an umbrella.
Be a
It was
man and get
torrential.
I provided for her. I offered a blanket.
It was
Okay,
a
wow.
monsoon. Were you in Toronto when they had that monsoon?
No, I don't think so.
Cars under.
No, I wasn't. I think it was out here.
I biked with water this high to me in the monsoon.
That's dangerous, Robbie.
I know, but I had no other way to get home.
Sorry to hear that.
Toronto. Anyway,
You got any tips
Steph,
for me?
Any tips?
Tips
I was
for
just gonna
you
say
for what? In terms of
Robbie.
what? For Robbie tips?
managing, dealing.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
This is it. There's no tips. You just have to go along with it
Right.
and just accept it now.
Right.
It's acceptance because this.
I call.
I will say though.
Yeah.
I will say. You know what? Robbie also has her big things. Like she's very supportive. I will say that too. She's always singing up praises to other comedians. And she, you know what? If you need something, if you need money or help, it's not like I'm asking you for money, but like you are a very good friend and you would bend over backwards for somebody.
Thank you.
You might be mentally ill sometimes, and you scream hello when you come to places.
But if somebody needs help, I really want to
you
help.
really want to help, and you are. She is very caring. Yes.
Have
and
you
she
experienced
keeps.
any of this?
In different ways, yeah.
How do you deal? This is something also that we've dealt with, like in the industry, and you're one of my first friends also to like really. I've seen you deal with it. I've watched you grow, and vice versa. jealousy, colleagues, people getting stuff, all that stuff when we were living together that would happen. How did
I
you
don't have
handle
jealousy
that?
towards you, really.
Go ahead.
That's just, first of all, that's the industry. That's what, we're never going to not deal with this. But it's really, it is, I don't know, it doesn't go away. You have to just realize that.
But has it gotten better? What
Yeah, it's
has
gotten better
helped?
because you realize that, like, you know, you are your own person and you're going to get stuff specifically for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not all going to get the same fucking things. And like, do you want, like, I would be comparing myself to people where I'm like, I don't look like that person. I don't sound like, why would I want that? So like, I think I've carved myself a lane right now where I'm like this super aggressive, whatever comedian. And I'm like, I'm getting booked for things now specifically because of who I am exactly. And it's easier. Like, I'm getting written into roles. I don't have to do anything, but I'm playing a similar character. But I'm like, yeah, that's who I am. And I'm like,
But it
I'm
is
not in
nice to
competition with
see
anybody
your
anymore.
sweet sides. That's why I like that you have a podcast, because people get to see you just talking and the way that you operate in your life.
Yeah, I mean, some people get to see it. Not a lot of people watching that fucking podcast. Staph infection, if you're a podcast listeners.
Let's plug the pod. What,
Oh, like
what's this?
staph.
Any
I had
tips?
a staph infection once.
Oh, did you?
In my armpit.
Well, then you got to come on the pod. Talk
She
about
has
it.
a
There we
ton
go.
of
I have a ton
infections.
of body issues.
She has
Well,
one
then
of
what
the
the heck?
worst vaginas.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? A lot of yeast infections?
I used to have a lot of
UTIs?
yeast
She has
infections. No, I had
A growth this
No,
big.
it's not a growth, Robbie.
Hematoma.
I've had 2 hematomas vaginally.
really?
It's really interesting. I'll show you
Oh,
a picture
wow.
after.
I'd
if you
She
love
want.
to
fell
see
off
it.
a bike.
Well, that was the second time. The first
this
time
big.
was a medical malpractice.
So wait, nothing
frankly.
happened Friday?
Oh, my God.
No, I'm not talking about this, and I told you that via text. So I'll tell you later, okay?
Oh.
Okay. More car secrets. You guys gave a lot
No,
to talk
because
about in the car.
she doesn't let us. This is the Too Far pod, and we're not allowed to talk about anything.
No, I don't want to talk about
Many
my
people
dating
in the
life.
comments are saying,
Okay, okay.
Rachel, let
That's all.
Robbie
That's all,
talk.
yeah. That's all. She's no David. That's fine. Some stuff you can keep. I feel like I fucked up by not keeping more stuff. I sometimes feel like I'm too open.
Like
Like
what?
talking with Jeff and stuff. I'm like, if he hears all this, he's probably gonna be upset. And it's like,
No, so what? Let him be upset. He should be upset with
no.
nothing
Then
but
I
himself.
talk about. I had to stop talking about my ex because that was getting whatever. There's stuff there that I don't want to get into. But I was like, I have to like.
What happened with my ex?
What do you
I'm
mean?
just saying we had a wild.
You know,
That was a wild experience. You've been with me through some of the experiences of my life. There's no
I
question.
really have.
How long have you known each other?
Long
Fuck,
time.
14 years maybe.
No, less than that,
Less?
because I came to Toronto. You were already headlining.
So
I remember meeting you
I
biking
remember
down.
Did we meet in Montreal?
You hit her
no.
with your bike?
We met at Mitzi's Cafe
Mitzi's Cafe.
in Roncesvalles.
In what?
Really?
Yeah. In Roncesvalles, you were driving down your bike. You literally were either doing a bike
Oh,
of
you were with
shame.
that. You were with a girl.
Yes.
Yes, I remember. I remember exactly where. Okay,
You
yes,
were
as
sweating,
Viking. Yes,
and it was the first time I said hi to you because I was a
Yes.
fan.
I
I
remember
enjoyed
this.
you, but I knew you were friends with Natalie, but I wasn't
Yes.
friends with you yet.
Yes.
And I said, Steph. I said, wait, I know that fucking maniac barreling down
Barreling
Ronci.
down. Yeah. I remember that exactly.
Mitzi's was such a cute place.
That was a really cute place. Yeah.
breakfast place.
Yeah, it was very cute. I remember that. Okay, I do remember that. And then I would see you
And you
around.
were working at Wild Wings or something.
Duff's Famous Wings. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't wild wing me. It was a better wing establishment.
And you were coming home from a guy's house that you had hooked up with.
I remember I had gross sex. Yes, and I was sweating and I wanted to get home and change and rinse. Yeah. That was disgusting. I did a lot of gross things.
No, by the way, we can cut that. I didn't mean, but I do
Oh, no, I don't
remember
give a
you
fuck.
barreling down.
Barreling down.
Did you not like Roncesvalles?
I don't know what that is.
It's a neighborhood called Roncesvalles. Say it.
How do you, Roncesvalles?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
What
it.
is that language?
it's English.
That's it. It's classic Toronto.
I love Toronto so much.
I love Toronto
so
too,
much.
but you guys,
I helped her
do.
out in Toronto, but she doesn't. She thinks she's like, oh, I'm doing well in Toronto. I'm like, I know.
what are you? Oh, sure. I mean, a little bit, sure. It's like Robbie came up in Toronto. I did some shows there. People listen to the pod from Toronto. I'm
Okay,
sure it's helped
okay.
my audience there.
There you go. Some of the audience.
I might be in Toronto at some point. We're working on a big date.
A big date.
Yeah, so we'll keep you informed. We'll keep you informed.
me
We'll
in
keep you informed.
know.
We'll keep you in the loop. What I wanted to go
ay.
back with the tips. I forget now what it was.
The tips. There's no. It's still. There's still the jealousy still there, but it's like I'm at a point now where I don't really care anymore, and it's like I know that I'm just gonna get things from just keeping up exactly what I'm doing.
Well, that's how I feel about Robbie, which is that I feel like we're very different. And so I don't have a jealousy because I'm like, whatever.
But you lie about that, unfortunately.
No,
I think there's a
don't.
narrative that I might have a
actually-
jealousy, but I came to learn that Rachel has a jealousy.
Every time I
No,
tell
I
you
really
something
came-
good
No.
that's happened to me, I spend an hour listening to her
because-
saying that
because-
she's jealous.
no,
And I'm not
no.
jealous of you. I think it's great what you've had. You're older than me. You've been working longer. You deserve
see how
what you get.
she belittles? You see how she undercuts?
It's not a I'm telling you.
Everybody can see what you're doing. This is the truth.
What is
This is
true?
You're older than me. She does
You
things like
are
this.
old. You've been
when
doing
you
it.
When you pitch being young, then you're fucked.
I will say
Lying
that
about
that
her
does
age.
I don't like agreeing with Robbie, but I will agree with her on this one. It does undercut it a bit because I've been doing comedy for 21 years. Then when people are like, "Well, you've been doing it longer," it makes you feel like kind of a piece of shit. Like obviously we've been doing it longer, but like when we started, there wasn't the social media, so we didn't have any of this to boost us to where these people are now. We had none of this.
Yeah.
We had to do live shit. We had to go out and fucking get fans the hard way. So it's almost like we all kind of started at the same level online because half the shit is online now, anyways.
And you and I have never used anyone. Like even when I lived
wish
with
I
you,
did.
I
If
think
I
something.
sucked some-
No,
if I sucked the
no,
right dicks.
I think. By the way, I think there's nothing wrong with using people or getting. I've changed my tune on getting somewhere in the nefarious way, the cheating and stealing way, because obviously in America, and everybody who's rich is just lying, cheating, stealing. The whole thing, and that's how. But doing the integral way, you don't win anything, you don't get anything, you just. Your soul, it's more of a feeling. It's more of something like you can either live the lying, cheating way, and I know people who do, whatever, and that works for them. But if it's not in you to work like that, it's too hard to live like that. If you lie and cheat, and you don't normally lie and cheat, it actually rubs you the wrong. You actually can't feel comfortable, and I would prefer to feel comfortable, so I do it the integral way. Even when I lived with you, and you were so much further along than me, and all this stuff, just because of your hard work and how funny and fucking talented you are, I really hesitated to say, "Hey, Steph, you're doing this thing. Can I?" Only like very rarely when I knew it was either a big show that you might have wanted support. I would say I'm happy to come here, but I was very cognizant of your work and what it meant, and not to take advantage in a way. And I think that we always saw that about each other for years and years.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a shamelessness around that sort of thing.
Oh, interesting ringtone.
My boyfriend, sorry, and I can't.
Do you want to
turn
pick it up on the thing?
No.
But don't you find that a lot of people have a shamelessness?
Majority. That's why I think people like us and we are so outspoken. I think people either really like us or hate us because we don't give a fuck. But I think that makes us so much more genuine, especially the comics. I feel like both of us, I'd rather be respected by the comics than anybody else because I'm like, that makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. But the amount of people that I've shit on, or the amount of male bookers who I openly shit on, like the Mark Breslin, Jason Lawrence from the two bookers in Canada, constantly how shitty they are to women. I'm like, because somebody the other day is like, "Oh, when you go back to Canada, do you do the clubs?" I go, "No, I'm banned from the clubs. I don't do the clubs here because are you kidding me? I can't step foot in those clubs." But I'm like, I don't give a fuck, and I think it's more respectful that we got to where we are.
But
And
like
I think
you have
I feel
comedians
like,
in your circle who go, "Oh, you have a podcast, have me on it," when they haven't earned it, or
which
they
is
haven't.
hilarious because my podcast is not doing well.
But don't you
It's
think?
funny that people are like, "Can I get on it?" I was like,
Infection.
But even
my
with
God.
Steph infection, by the way.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 3 years.
If you're
Please
listening
help
to
me.
this one,
Please,
throw this
please
on
help
right
me.
after. Put this on the lineup for sure.
Listen to Robbie's episode.
So you don't like
No.
people saying, "Can I do your show? Can I do the pod?"
No, I don't mind that. I think if they have an awareness, if they're talented and they're good, no problem.
You know, I got to tip.
But
I
if
got to
you
tip. I
suck-
assume you have a lot of female comedian listeners. Here, I'm gonna give you guys a fucking tip right now.
No
if you want to
homo.
open for somebody, this is like I'm losing my fucking mind over this. If you want to open up for a bigger comedian and you want to DM them on Instagram, fucking follow them. Don't ask to open for fucking me in some rude tone. I had this one girl, I don't even know where the fuck she's from. She
Name
goes,
names!
"No, I don't even know her name." I blocked her. I was so pissed off. She goes, "Yo, how many guest spots can I get?" I go, "Excuse me?" I go to her page, a horrendous comedian, the worst clips I've seen in my entire life. Does not follow me. When I first started comedy, I remember the first person I ever asked to open for was Todd Glass. I had been a fan of Todd Glass for years. I was
shout out to
I
Todd
love Todd
Glass.
Glass. I was so embarrassed. I slept in his DMs. I'm like, I'm so sorry to do this. I'm a huge fan.
He's
But I
so
sent him the
funny.
longest paragraph on the planet Earth. I would love to do one opening spot for you ever, and a call, and all this. And these people just acting like they fucking deserve this stage time
Yeah.
from people. Also, you think I'm going to give a stage time to somebody who doesn't even like my comedy? You just sit and watch me for a whole weekend, do an hour, 5 hours over the whole weekend, and you don't even know who the fuck I am? Fuck you. That's why I only have like...
Get bent!
Oh, God. I just find it so fucking disrespectful. These new comics who just think they are owed this shit. It's like, I've been here 22 years, working my fucking clit off.
From
like
21 to
driving,
22.
I think it's 22 now, because I'm 39.
Yeah.
18. I started as 18.
Yeah, she really just started early.
Yeah, I started early. So I'm like, don't fucking come at me with this
And
fucking
I don't
bullshit.
have a
I have
problem
no
with
time.
new or whatever. Because you could be new
You have
and
to
good.
show some respect.
Some fucking level of respect.
To me, it's not even respect. It's an awareness. Are you a good comic? Like, if you're bad, and maybe this is something that they can't help. Do people not know they're bad?
Well, you have
Yeah.
to be delusional a little bit when you're starting out too, and
Not
think
really. We were never delusional. We were
a lot
funny
of
off the bat.
people have to be a bit delusional. Even if you're starting, even
I
if you're
never wanna be
good, when you're
delusional.
green, it's like you have to keep going.
But you've seen new people who are green. They don't have it, but they're good. You've seen that.
Yeah. But everyone,
People
all
who-
comedians are delusional. We all have a mild amount of delusion. To do this job is fucking crazy. But
I have no
they're-
delusion.
Yes, you do. The amount of delusion that's
I'm the greatest living stand-up currently, but no delusion. No
The
delusion.
amount of like
I say that in
some
all
people,
sincerity.
their delusion is beyond. Like we
Yeah,
know
that's
people.
what
I'm
saying.
not gonna name names. But we
Name
know one.
names. We'll bleep everything.
No, I'm not
Please.
naming
Just
the
for
name.
the pod, we'll bleep
No,
everything.
I don't
Who?
trust your
Julia
bleeping.
who?
No,
I do believe.
no.
Who?
The guy from Toronto, he's delusional.
Oh,
we have to bleep that
obviously.
fucking
We
name.
will.
He is the most delusional comedian. He's been doing it almost as long as me.
That's what bothers me is those people are like, hey,
unreal.
can we collab on something? I'm like,
But can
why
I say
would
something? If you've been delusional for so long, like 10, 15 years, that is worth respect.
It is.
Because it's
I
like,
see that.
yeah, you should get a medal.
The people that we've talked about, Mark Breslin, where I did my audition for him. Shout out
These
to the
names
worst,
could stay in.
the worst clubs in
What
ever.
clubs?
Yuck
Yuck
yucks.
yucks.
Yeah.
And he said
Exactly.
to me, and I did very well at the Toronto club, and he did this big sit down that this old like,
So what he
perv
does,
is gonna
so
sit with
the
you.
sit down is the best because he has his own little booth at the back and he has a velvet rope. It's like you
Right.
can. It's like a rope. Me having a rope right across here right now.
Yeah.
Hello. It's an open area.
It's
so
his
he
own
unhooks
club.
the rope. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, you have
So
an
he's
open
like a
private
poor
talk.
person's version of a rich person. Like you think he owns this like place. It's like they're probably breaking even. Like it's probably not like a great business. It's like, it's like, the really rich you never see. The really rich, what do they say?
Right.
It whispers, it's the private equity. It's the people you go, how did you, never mind how I made this money. You don't know. Mark Breslin's the kind of guy who like, he acts like King Tut, but it's like maybe they're breaking even. I'm sure he makes $250
You'll never guess how
a year.
tall he is.
He's shorter than
Oh
me.
yeah, he's like 5'4". Yeah, anyone
Taller
is,
than
oh,
me.
Yeah. When you're that short.
And so he sits me down and he goes, I loved your act, and it was just me fucking still. And he goes, but how am I going to send you to Calgary? How am I going to send you? And I said, please don't. Like, why do I have to go to these Canadian rural towns? Like, just leave me in Toronto.
Yeah,
like, I'm a
let me
city
be here.
kid.
Yeah.
Let me just stay in Toronto. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why do I have to do your other clubs? He's like, I don't know. I was like, just when you have a night open in Toronto, let me know. Doesn't have to be any weekend. He would not, because I didn't want to travel, live in his sketchy, pervert-infested condos.
Oh, the condo is disgusting.
Ew.
Do you know my story? My story is way worse. I had showcased a couple times. It was Wednesday night. I remember I fucking annihilated. It's a downtown club. It was middle of
Nobody
summer.
cares. Like Tolev, follow Steph on Instagram.
Not last night, but
see her live.
Yeah.
But even that, I'm sure that would have been my favorite set of yours.
Oh, I bawled my
Annihilating
dick
this
out
guy.
last night. It was insane. Like even like the door guy was like, I was laughing, but I was like, shut up. So okay, it's the middle of the summer.
By the way,
I
Gabby
did not have.
and her parents, they might want 4 tickets to come to the store this week. Can I DM you for that?
Yes, of
Speaking
course,
of using
yes.
people and
Okay,
not
now you're
taking
gonna use me.
advantage.
So Mark Breslin, I do the showcase, and I had bikes there, and I was wearing jean
The
shorts.
showcase is to get like passed.
Yes.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did the
She's
Wednesday.
never
I
showcased or worked in any like a professional setting for stand-up. She's done backyards and that sort of thing.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly. Okay. So I murder. I fucking murder. All the comics there are like, you're gonna get past. Breslin calls me over, lifts up the rope, and I'm like, a little smug. So I get in the booth and I'm like so nervous and I sit down and he goes, if you ever step foot on my stage again wearing shorts, looking like you were cleaning your fucking house all day. And I went, well, then I'll never step foot on your fucking stage. And I stood up and I walked out and all the comics were like, and I was 27 and I was like, and I remember I went in the back alley and I started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, I was trying so long and hard to get on this fucking club. And that's the fucking level. That's how I got spoken to. Like I was a fucking piece of shit. Because I wore fucking shorts on a showcase. You're not paying me. It's fucking 35 degrees outside. I biked there from my fucking job.
She's
I had a day job.
allergic to sweat.
I'm also like, I'm like, fuck off. I don't have money to take the fucking subway. That's why I had to fucking bike here.
What do you mean allergic to sweat, by the way?
She's allergic to sweat.
No, I think I have lupus. That's a whole other thing. But anyways, I was
Selena
like, fuck
Gomez
you.
has lupus.
I think I might DM her.
You really should.
You should DM her.
I found it on TikTok Live. I think I have lupus. I get tested tomorrow. I'm
Wait,
dead
we
ass
know
serious.
Selena Gomez.
I don't know. I was joking.
No.
with DM Selena
I
Gomez.
can get you connected
I
to
actually
Selena
DM'd
Gomez.
Amanda Bynes yesterday.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
not doing well.
She's not doing well. She lives in my area. I keep seeing her. So I was like, fuck it. So I asked her to do my podcast. But she didn't answer me. I'm going to stop her on the street.
She wants to do nails. So you should say, come on my podcast, do my nails.
It's a good idea.
Okay, that's
And
a
then
very good idea.
She'll sort, I think she needs to be welcomed in on her terms.
No, I sent her the link. Except I don't want to think I'm making fun of her or anything.
No, of course.
But I keep seeing she's in my area. She's not doing.
So she's living in Little Armenia.
She's living in Little Armenia. That's what's the craziest part. And I've seen her. I see her every day.
She
I
does.
thought I was
She's
here.
at the Vons? Where is she?
No,
She's
I
at
almost
the-
hit her with my car.
Oh.
I was coming out of the parking lot, the 76.
She walking in zigzags.
Not
a
even
bit?
paying attention. She was on her phone like this, and I was like, "Hello," and I was like, "Oh fuck," and then I realized it was. Okay, she's right at me because I'm like, she's like comes up my algorithm now on Instagram.
She does post pictures from her bedroom, and it does look like just like the most normal apartment building.
Yeah,
ever.
no, I think she's very.
I
Close
really
to
wish her the best.
I know, so do I. I feel I didn't watch the documentary. I can't
No,
do
I
do
couldn't.
predator shit. I mean, she's
No.
sick.
Yeah, it's not right.
Stand it. No, I'm not
Well,
doing that.
remember I made you watch this. Oh, I just found out. Because remember I made you watch the Scientology documentary, Going Clear?
Ruin my life. Yes.
Oh, because we were living right across the street,
Yeah, we're
basically,
too
from
close to those people.
to the Scientology at Blue Freakish Center.
I love that
That's one of my
place.
tips. People ask what to visit in LA when you come. I say bring them to the Sun. If you have friends and family visit, you have got to see the Scientology building on Fountain. There's nothing like
bizarre.
it. There's nothing like it with
Right
the Scientology.
now they have this like family fun fair up the street, and it's all blocked off, so you can't see it. It's like, yeah, what's going on behind that fucking
Should
curtain
we
family
take
fun fair?
one
Have you seen it?
lunch
It's fucking
there?
creepy as hell.
I just found out a friend of mine, not the closest friend, one of my more for somebody I'm friendly with, I would say, friends more with the boyfriend. One of my most successful friends is an avid Scientologist. I had no idea.
Really?
This is one of my first, has this experience, have you had this happen to you, Rock? Yeah. I'm like, oh my
what's
God,
so
I'm in
wrong
LA.
about
Like,
it?
Watch Going Clear.
Okay.
it's
That-
just
and then you'll
so
never ask that question again.
Okay.
creepy.
It's so creepy. It's literally a cult. I worked at the Square One, the restaurant right across the street,
Yeah.
and I would watch them while I worked.
Oh, I love that place.
They'll
They fired me.
sweep.
Fuck them.
Oh,
they
fuck
fired me.
them.
'Cause- Yeah, fuck off. Fuck. Don't go to Square One. This
Do
is
not
shit.
go there.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
I'd watch them. There'd be a group of like 10 of them. One of them would have like a little tiny broom. The other one would have a thing to sweep the broom up. The rest would have nothing. They would sprint to a corner. Sprint. One leaf. 10 of them would sweep up this leaf, and they'd all look at each other, and then sprint to the next corner. They would do it for hours.
Hours.
It
We
was
saw them
fucking.
sweeping.
It was, and then they'd come in and go, "We need a table for 4." And I'm like, "There's a line." Well, and I'm like, "Whoa, hey, you got." I'm like, "Calm down. You're gonna have to wait in line." And they'd be pacing. Worst tippers on the planet. Worst tippers.
They have
Holy
no
fuck.
money.
They don't have money because they make fucking 49 cents. Watch Going Clear. You'll see how bad they treat
Okay.
these like, children. It's
They're-
disgusting.
Well, I've heard that they keep women locked up in
There's,
the
Yeah,
blue
there's no, the
building.
windows aren't open. There's no curtains.
Right.
Every window's locked down.
They are locked
this
up there.
podcast just hits
They are.
everything, huh?
They are.
We
They
are
are.
just
They
all
are.
around
They are.
the
Shovels her
planet
way
Do you
here.
have any
Yep.
opinions on the Israel-Palestine situation?
Don't no, and I'm not. I never will. People, I'm losing followers on TikTok. So it was like, use your platform. I talk about my big fat labia. All of a sudden, if I start talking about politics, people will be like, "What is happening?" I'm an idiot. I stay out of it.
I don't think we ever talked about politics.
I never have talked about politics in my life.
We lived together.
I don't
you
know anything
called
about
me
it.
when Trump was elected. You said, "What does this mean?"
I said, "Are we all gonna die?" I
Like
was
you
like,
didn't. She didn't even really know who was on the ballot. Like she was like, "What
I
does this
really
mean?"
don't know a lot about it, and I
Are
probably
you a
should.
citizen?
No,
Here?
No.
I have my green card. So if Jefferson has to marry me, or I have to fucking do some tests and learn about America. Which
No. What do
I
you
guess I
mean?
can.
Can't you keep a green card forever?
No, 10 years.
but you can
What's
renew
the time?
it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna so just renew
No,
it.
I want to become dual.
When are you doing that?
I don't know. He needs to marry me.
I wanna train you for the test.
You're dual.
When was
Yeah.
slavery
Born here.
abolished?
I have no idea.
1865.
1865.
I just said it
Well,
was
now
on
you
holiday, so
know.
it's been
Take
crazy.
it, put it in your notes app.
1865.
There
I
you
can remember
go.
that.
It's one of the questions.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Should be.
Why are you going to test me? What the hell?
What date is June 19th?
What? I just said I don't know anything. You're trying to embarrass me
I
here?
just said what date is June 19th?
No, I know, but I was like, what, I thought it was just a trick question. What are you
is
talking about? I don't know.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Well, no, Juneteenth, but I'm like, what? I don't know.
When is Juneteenth?
June 19th. Okay, I hate this podcast now.
Anything else?
That seems to be it. Oh, I'm getting ready for my big special. I'm getting excited
my
for that.
God.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
When
see,
are you
this is something
filming
I
it?
really want to come to. So Steph and I are very
We can't say
opposite.
what it's on, but we can
We
say.
won't say, but it's
Fabulous.
massive.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. Very
It's
excited.
a full hour.
Wow.
I'm doing a full hour. I worked
Your
very hard
debut
for
American
this.
special.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm filming it in Boston, Massachusetts, on October 10th.
Say Massachusetts. I find it hard to say
Massachusetts, isn't it?
Massachusetts.
But I love.
No
Oh God,
T, just a ch.
Mrs. Juneteenth.
Wait, say it
can't
again.
Massachusetts.
What?
Massachusetts.
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 You're adding an extra S in there for some reason. I don't know how you could
Well,
possibly
she
add
keeps
an extra
missing
S in
the
there.
T. Massachusetts. You got it.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
No, there's still something in there.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's it. Very excited. Boston's crazy. Boston's
No, you're-
my favorite
Yeah,
place.
why Boston? Did
out
you
of-
choose it?
And out of anywhere I performed
They
last year,
love
they
Steph.
loved me there. It was crazy.
That's amazing.
I had,
You're
like,
one of the
yeah.
most successful touring comedians maybe ever.
Not if you saw my Oklahoma City sales.
Sure,
Well,
but
who's
you're
in
always going to be
Oklahoma?
pushing
Yeah,
new
I'm
markets.
I'm not going over there. Yeah,
You're
I do
always
well
pushing
on the
new
West Coast
markets.
and East Coast. Middle of America is the problem.
Sure.
Middle is not great. Austin, I do
I
well.
haven't
I
heard
feel
that
you
before.
do
I heard
well
the
in
middle
the
of America
middle.
was quite nice.
I thought I would too, but no, simply not.
What do you think the issue is? Who
Men.
does well in the
Men.
middle? Yeah, that's true.
Men, yeah.
They'd
that's what
shoot
it
me
is.
dead on
Yeah.
arrival
White men.
there.
It's white men.
Yeah.
White men are the problem.
What do you think the prognosis of our friendship? You think we're lifelongers now?
I think so, yeah. I don't think I have a choice. I think this is it.
How do you feel about that?
I like it. It's good. We had a nice little check-in call the other day. We had
Oh
a
yeah,
good
I
check-in.
call a lot. Not urgently.
Well, no. You'll call, and then the problem is if I
Check
don't
in
answer.
about the friendship.
No. Just a nice
just
check-in,
checking
make
in.
a little fun. But then if I don't answer, you'll call 5 times in a row. And it's like, well, I'm not answering for a reason.
No, because I don't want to forget what I have to say.
And then make yourself
What
a
about
little
a voice note?
Yeah,
You
I love
have
a
any
voice note.
memos?
I hate
I
voice
love voice notes.
I hate
too.
voice notes.
No, I love
Why?
It's too long, and I want to chat.
it. You do like to chat. It's hard to get you off the phone sometimes.
We've had some good tea.
We have good tea.
We have good tea.
Yeah.
We send each other tea. I've delivered some good tea.
You've given me some good tea. I haven't given you good tea in a while. I don't have anything.
No, you're not good with the tea. I
got
deliver
no
tea.
tea.
If I hear something, if I see something, I say something. I'm one of those. I see something, I say something. That's why when people would come up to me in their DMs, like, "Hey, I'm struggling with my sexuality," I'm like, "Do you know who's gay?" Like immediately, like I would never keep it a secret. Like when I was gay, like in like Japs, Jewish American princess, Japanese people do not come for me. I love you. This is not.
Great.
I'm not your guy. Okay. Jewish girls who were, very, very conservative, and they were kind of, I'm struggling, and I'm like, you'll never believe who's gay.
I had a gay man come at me the other day. And I was like, I'm not the problem here, man. He came at me because
Oh, no.
my podcast, he said I was spreading misinformation about STDs because I
Gay
talked about
men?
my cervical cancer and how it turned into I had HPV turned into cervical cancer.
Oh, my God.
And then I had to it was crazy. It was really bad. And then he's like, you're spreading. I'm like, I'm sorry. Do you have HPV? I'm also like, my podcast, I'm not a doctor. I never said I was a doctor. I'm not a
Right.
medical professional. I'm a
Again,
fucking slob comedian.
And I
Don't come
hate
at
that
me.
this needs to be said.
It's also like,
Gay men are men.
Gay men are men.
Yeah.
And they are on the decline, and they're unraveling.
Yeah, it's
Gay
true.
men have given up. They used to be on the fringe of culture in a cool way. They used to be, and then they got too loud, and they got too much representation. And this is actually what happens when you're overly represented. We overly represented gay people in conjunction with the rest of the population, so they weren't fringe anymore. They weren't this cool thing doing their own thing, counterculture. No, they're annoying, and they're going up to women and going, well, actually, They're now the well actually guys. It's gay guys.
I
Can you
don't
imagine?
like any man at all saying, "Oh, well, actually," about my body parts. Also, again, in my podcast, I am not a doctor. We just openly talk about body issues, and I'm trying to destigmatize talking openly about STDs and how some people have HPV and how it turns into
Gay
candy.
men
You should be getting a
speaking
pap
to
every year. Like
women.
all this, it was
Speaking
crazy.
Of, and I don't mean to women, I mean to the subject of women, is bizarre. It's like they have to know the least amount that anybody's ever known about
What
women.
was the issue with the STI stuff? He was just like,
I have no idea. Me and I think it was my last guest. I didn't even know what we're talking
Shout
about.
out to our gay dude fans. You know I love you. And I know you agree with me on all these assessments. The
And
dyke is
supporting
having
us
a
makes
rising.
you counterculture cool.
Exactly,
there it
because
is.
you're the
See?
intellectual gay, which I've been missing for years.
Yeah.
For years. West Hollywood Abercrombie gays, they took over for long. They clouded your judgment.
Right. Where's the Michael Foucault gaze? Right.
This is it.
There we go. Come with me
Bill
to theory.
Cunningham. This type of gay.
What do you think of Pete Buttigieg? He ruined the
No,
trains.
no. He's the culmination of what you got.
Right.
And you deserve him.
He fucked it.
And let him be your wake-up call. Okay. Let Mayor Pete be your wake-up call. Jefferson, let this podcast be your wake-up call. This has been the Too Far Pod. I am your host, Robbie Hoffman. We're here with my sidekick, Rachel Colley, and our guest today, the only Steph Tolev.
I love getting an intro at the end of a
subscribe.
podcast. This is new for me. Getting,
Oh, yeah, we
getting
never
introed
introduced
at the
her.
end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Should we for Zoe? By the way, welcome to our show. The one, the only, one of the greatest living touring comedians of all time, Steph Tolev.
Okay.